Building the Brand is an Ultimate Podcast Group production.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, welcome to this episode of Building the Brand. Now, this week I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to read you a recent blog article that I have written because I've not really spoken much about this, which is very unlike me, because if you've been listening to the show for some time now, you'll know I love to document what's going on within my brand and business. But I've been working behind the scenes closely on some top secretive social media, audio first social media projects, which have revolved largely around Clubhouse and building out an agency offering for Clubhouse around consultancy and actually the execution and activation of projects for various marketing and PR agencies. So I haven't really spoken too much about that side of things, and I won't talk about it now because it's still ongoing. Excuse me if you can hear some green parakeets in the background as well. It's just very hot today, so I thought, you know what, rather than sitting here with the stuffy windows shut for the sake of audio quality, I was like, the gang don't mind, I'm going to have my windows open, so you might hear, I can see a blue tit out the window. I sound like I'm living fucking Narnia, don't I? I see a blue tit out the window, some green parakeets flying over, which is all a bit random, but hopefully that adds to the ambience of today's podcast. So yeah, I've written an article all about Clubhouse being becoming open to the public, because they've basically come out of beta test mode and they're about to do an IPO. So I thought I would read you guys an article that I recently wrote about the situation, because I think that if you're looking to build a brand and business this year, Clubhouse is one of the number one ways to do exactly that. So I'll read you this article and then I might summarise at the end for you all. So here's the article. And by the way, I'll put a link in the show notes if you're more of a visual learner than an auditory learner, which I don't imagine you are because you're listening to podcasts. But let's say, for example, you just want to go have a look at this. You can check it out on my Medium as well. You can go to James Burt, B-U-R-T-T, jamesburt.medium.com. But I'll put a link in the show notes as well to the exact article. So here it is. The article is called Clubhouse, Open to the Public and Open for Business. You might have, in fact, you most likely have, been hearing a lot of stuff about Clubhouse over the last few months. Although this audio-first social media platform actually came into existence well over a year ago, it has featured in the marketing and branding world's zeitgeist most heavily since the beginning of 2021. So let's start by working out or explaining what Clubhouse actually is. Clubhouse pitches itself as a new type of social network based on voice, where people around the world can come together to talk, listen and learn from each other in real time, which, by the way, is new brand positioning. They've just rolled that out when they've done like a, frankly, horrible logo rollout, and that sort of repositioning and rebrand, sort of the tweak of their brand message or their mission statement has been tweaked recently, because it was kind of just pitched as drop-in audio previously, but now they're trying to make sure they're trying to cultivate that sense of community much more heavily. Anyway, back to the article. Essentially, from a user's perspective, Clubhouse is a mixture between live podcasts, live talk radio, and a conference call and social media platforms all combined. Now, whilst you might hear that explanation and think it sounds terrible, from a brand marketing standpoint, or from a positioning or increasing your expert authority in communicating your core messages standpoint, it is amazingly, and I mean amazingly, valuable platform if you know how to work it correctly. Whilst you might have been hearing the gentle rumblings about Clubhouse in the background of early adopter conversations, you're most likely to be hearing about it much more over the coming weeks and months. Why is that? Well, it's just gone from beta test only mode into being generally available for absolutely everybody. And they've also announced they're going to be doing an IPO shortly as well. Initially, Clubhouse had been an invite-only. Existing users had to invite others to the platform, and more recently, there's been the availability or the ability for clubs to create rooms within those clubs and create an invite link that was accessible to up to 1,000 people, which broadened out the beta test mode reach, but it was still essentially an invite basis, which, reading between the lines, was designed in a way to ensure that the platform's frequently overwhelmed servers didn't melt. If you are a regular user, if you're a regular user of Clubhouse, you've probably experienced the red bar coming up going, our servers are struggling right now. Anyway, back to the article. However, a recent announcement confirmed that the platform is now open to use for everybody, meaning you can go into the App Store or Google Play, find the app and start using it immediately without any restrictions on access. If you're brand new to the world of audio-first social media, which you most likely will be, let me break down exactly how Clubhouse works as a user experience so you can, if you want to, jump on and start using it with maximum value immediately. When you've downloaded the app, you'll be able to access the hallway. Think of the hallway like your newsfeed on other social spaces. This is where you can see all the rooms and choose which conversations you tune into by entering the quote-unquote room. When you're in a room, you'll either be in the audience or you might be on the quote-unquote stage. If you're on the stage, you might be there as a speaker or maybe a moderator. The moderators are the people who have what's been titled the green bean, aka the little green badge next to their name, which shows that they are controlling the room and therefore dictating the direction of the conversation to some extent. If you're a member of the audience and you want to get up on the digital stage, then you can let the moderators know you have something to contribute by using the hand raise button, and a moderator can add you to the stage and into the conversation. Generally, the Clubhouse etiquette is to go onto stage, mute your microphone, and when you have a point to raise or a question to ask, you flash your microphone, and one of the moderators or the people leading the conversation will invite you to unmute and ask your question or give your share. So that's essentially how you get from your hallway into a room and onto a stage. There's also a deeper level of management and community building that happens on Clubhouse, and that's via creating a club. In essence, the club feature allows users to create and join private groups within the app that are tailored to a specific interest or subject. Within a club, you have members and followers. A member is classified as an approved participant within the group. Depending on the settings of the group, a member can see private rooms for the club, but not the public rooms. They could also see and participate in both private and public rooms and nominate other Clubhouse members to join a club. A follower can see the notification of public rooms by the club, but they are not an official member of the club. Is everybody keeping up here? Hopefully this is all making sense. In the most simple context, following a club is like following a person. When the club opens a public room, you see it in your hallway. You may also, depending on your notification settings on your phone, also get a notification when club rooms open and when club rooms are scheduled. Some clubs also allow members to open rooms, but most only allow club admins to open a room. Creating a proactive and engaged club is a fantastic way to build deeper relationships with your tribe. For example, one of the clubs that we manage is called the Winners Club. It's got over 20,000 members and followers. Essentially, this means that we have over 20,000 people who could be notified whenever we schedule or open a room. And there's all tactics around how you schedule and how you open rooms so that people get multiple notifications, by the way. But that's a subject for another time, maybe. A very high percentage of people within this club are very highly engaged within the community because of things like our very own community-focused town halls, etc. The club is populated with people who see themselves as stakeholders rather than just listeners of content. As highlighted above, if you schedule and run a room from within a club, you have the additional ability to make the room public or private to members only. So this could be a great tool if you want to encourage users to become a member of your club because they benefit from getting exclusive content that's only available for club members. The best thing to do, as with any social media platform, is to jump on and have a go and see where you fit. Try and find your tribe. Jump into the hallway, listen into individual rooms, tune into conversations, see what adds value to you, your business, your life, your health, your wellness, and everything else in between. Find those conversations where you can be perceived as an expert or an authority in your field by adding value to the rooms as well. Adding value to the conversations is the number one way to build a valuable profile on audio platforms. For those who have brands, this community is an amazingly valuable audience because this is a proactively engaged group of people who tend to be tuned into a subject they are interested in and they're actively listening to the conversation. So let's say, for example, you're a coffee brand who want to talk about the sustainability benefits of your drink. What you wouldn't want to do is have your CEO jump into a room and just talk for 60 minutes about how brilliant you are as a company and all the benefits of your eco-based methods of business. What you would want to do, however, is to curate the conversation and create a room around the general conversation of the specific area of ecological benefit that your range of coffee creates. For example, get the brand director on. Get a taste expert on, get a coffee farmer on, get an environmental expert on, get a fair trade advocate on, get someone from the Rainforest Alliance, etc. You want to have a conversation where you can add value around a subject. You want to be known as the expert or the authority in this subject. You don't want this to sound like a 60-minute advert. Having said that you don't want it to sound like an advert, if done correctly, rooms absolutely can be 60 minutes of advertorial if positioned in the right way and hosted by the right moderator. How do we know this stuff works so effectively? Well, we've been running rooms since January and we've been tracking the data every single day consistently, and we're generating well over 1 million minutes of combined listen time every single month. We've helped some of the world's most respected authors sell more books, drive more sales for events than any other platform, and we've helped raise thousands for charity in a matter of minutes because we've tested and measured how this new world of audio-first social media works. Since the dawn of influencer marketing, there's never been a platform like Clubhouse and other audio spaces too that is so effective at driving a call to action and deliver brand building opportunities that are instantly trackable. So what we've been able to build while it's been in beta only is only going to get more impactful now that the world can access this new form of communication. Audio first is definitely going to move from being a clever tagline into a mindset that more business owners, brand builders and agencies and marketeers need to adopt. So there you go, guys. Again, there'll be a link in the show notes if you'd like to read this post rather than just listening to this post. But Clubhouse, if you're not, I know I've spoken about it a little bit. I definitely haven't talked about it as much as you might expect from the sort of content that I normally put out. But that's with good reason, because we've been testing and measuring stuff behind the scenes before we sort of roll it out more publicly. But there you go. Click the link in the show notes now. You can go to my Medium, jamesburt.medium.com, and you can read that article over there as well. And if you are, I tell you what, Clubhouse works for every single type of brand and business if you do it in the right way. And I'll tell you why that is. If you're listening and you're going, well, I've got a bricks and mortar business, or, you know, we're a big company, that probably won't work. It will, because people buy from people. It's that simple. People buy from people. Yes, they buy into the brand and all that kind of good stuff, but fundamentally there is an exchange of values with the person who runs the company at some level. A person has made the buying decision. A person will hand you the item when you purchase it. A person will hand you the item when you buy it. Even if you just have it delivered from Amazon, there's a level of human-to-human interaction within any single transaction, maybe with the exception of sort of digital products, but even still, these people are one click away from purchasing, downloading and buying your digital products. It makes it even more impactful and powerful. So if you're not yet on Clubhouse, you're building a brand and business, you are missing out on a massive, and I mean massive, opportunity. Click the link in the show notes now, go read the article, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like more expert stuff like this, do let me know. Tag me on Insta stories and let me know your favourite part. What should have been your number one takeaway from this particular podcast episode? And as always, cheers for your ears. Have a lovely day. Ta-da! Thank you for listening to this episode of Building the Brand. If you'd like to support the show, then please feel free to give us a 5-star review wherever you download your podcast. Now, I get it. You might be thinking that's a bit of a generic outro to a podcast show, but seriously, guys, rating, reviewing, subscribing and sharing the show is the number one way that you can support us to get to more people to help them build the brand. Oh yeah, and we love a cheeky Insta story as well. Thanks.
Building the Brand is an Ultimate Podcast Group production.